Hi everyone. I guess it is 4:30, so we will be starting in 5 minutes. We'll give about 5 minutes for everyone else to also join. Those who've joined on time, thank you very much for joining in. We will still start soon. This is Vikram. Hi, my name is Vikram, and thank you very much for all of you to join. We also have Adi who's helping me in presenting this event slides. And yes, we will be talking about money and in relation to why we talk about money is because of in relation to crypto being the latest innovation in the world. We would like to see how crypto will stand a chance being money in front of others rewarding in the use case of money in this world today. So that's where we are. Like I said, this is Vikram. I'm the host for this event today. It's the first one of its kind. We've been having this meetup, particular one in Crypto We Trust meetup for the last 10 years. 2013 is when I started. Particular this meetup is registered in 2014. So I've been doing meetups since good amount of time, like a little more than 10 years. In the beginning of 2013, actually end of 2012, I started the meetups. One of the reason I'm doing these meetups, thank you, Vikas. I'll make sure I'm a little louder. Also bring the computer closer, maybe your head. So yeah, my interest in cryptocurrency started way long ago. In 2009, I was living in England. I was already living there for good 7 years. And in 2007, of course, the recession happened in the UK, and by eight and nine, I think a lot of things was great in the UK. My house prices also had collapsed. One of the reasons why I got into crypto is because I was looking for answers of what happened to my house and property value, my asset value. So the value had just collapsed, right? I'm from India, and we know in India, house and land prices do not collapse like the way it did in recession. So when I was looking up for answers, I came across Bitcoin as an alternative. I didn't understand as much clearly in the beginning, but with time, I understood a lot of it. And by 2012 end, I was back in India. In 13, we were doing meetups. So in this kind of meetup, we had a lot of people come in and ask me, how do we buy Bitcoin in India? So then that question kept coming back. I started an exchange called UnoCoin in India. This is one of the India's first Bitcoin exchange back in 2013. I started UnoCoin. And now, recently, about 5 years ago, I started InstaCrypto. InstaCrypto is another platform like UnoCoin for people to exchange. But UnoCoin, of course, is a custodial platform. We want to move away from custodial platform. So now we have InstaCrypto, which is a non-custodial platform. It's an instant buy and sell exchange. So that's what I manage. And yes, Adi is our person who's helping me set up the slides and be part of this event. So yes, we can start the event. Thank you very much, guys, for all of you to join in. So like I said, this is the first time in this meetup we're going to be doing specifically something to do with like an educational base because we realize in the crypto world, a lot of people are not necessarily aware of what is really crypto is trying to bring in to the world, and I'd like to talk about it, and I'd like to love to take questions and understand what your particular thought processes and what is your doubts that you want to get clear. So yes, welcome everyone again, and let's start. So this is about how to identify a better money for the future, right? So we all know money, we all use money, but we still are not like 100% in understanding economics because economics is not like a major for a lot of people. It wasn't for me too. Till 2010, I would say till 2010, I studied for a year because after knowing about Bitcoin, it was hard for me not to learn more and understand more. So I did that and I took a lot of knowledge in because crypto is not here just for the sake of being an asset or being a trading tool. It's a great deal for as a currency. And when we say cryptocurrency, what does that really mean and what is it about the money, the part of it, and why is it really better for the future? So how do we identify? If we know what is money, do we know what are the properties and what makes money better use case than others? We have two cases of money right now. I can tell you, one is gold and one is fiat. We have that already. We've been using it. We pay someone with notes, but not with gold. Of course, sometimes we use gold. Say between two brothers and between me and my dad, if I had to settle something and I'd give him, let's say, 50K, and equally, if I had some gold, I'm happy for him to have it. Like, he's happy to take it. So what did gold become there? It became currency and money for us to communicate. But then if you see, gold is a limited use case. I can only give it to my father. I cannot really use gold to buy anything outside, because if I buy anything and I have a problem and I take that to court, court will not accept money as gold, because court says that you have to have a legal tender, which is INR, to be used. But if you see, I really use it as money. What is the difficulty is only because of the garment use case in one of them. And the second main point of gold is you cannot break it down to small pieces and use it, right? So that's where we have started. We have started two examples of money, which is gold and fiat. But let's bring in crypto also, and let's move forward and see how we can make crypto stand along with us in terms of being a better money, a future money. So, as I just mentioned, what is money? It's a medium to use for paying for goods and service. Money is also a great store of value and store of wealth. So, if you know, a lot of our, older people from our family used to store some money in jars and kitchen here and there. The reason being, it's not going to lose sudden drastic power of purchasing, so it's stored and then it is used at a later date. So that's what is money. Money is a medium we use for any kind of payments and settlements. If you're in India, you use INR. If you're abroad, you use dollars. So something like that. That's what is money. And how crypto can become a better money is something what we're going to be talking about. Let's go to the next slide. Yes, so before we get into crypto, right? Of course, crypto is also there as an example here. Uh, I hope everybody can see the slides. In between, also, just after the slide, if you have any specific doubt and you cannot wait till the end, do raise your question or do message and we will pick up that. So, just for the sake of understanding, what's the evolution of money? Anshul, you do have a question. Is it just go for it?
Yes, actually, your voice is a bit muffled, so if you can hold the mic a bit closer, maybe that will help.
Okay, so
Because
what's happened is the mic
we
was
are
already
patient.
there. I couldn't use the mic because the mic wasn't working very well on our recording platform. So what I did was I just used without the mic and I was trying to talk. I hope I'm a little bit more better in terms of audible because I pulled the computer closer to me and also try to speak a little louder. Is it better?
Mhm. Yeah, it's a little better.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Anshul. So yes, it's just a small slide of what we're saying is how money has evolved. If you see, there are a lot of examples here, which is grain and natural exchange. When we see this animal and grain, we remember barter system, if you know, right. So in barter system, everything was money, right? Because one money would buy another. If you have an animal, livestock, which would be more valuable than maybe a small like bag of grain. So maybe you would take multiple bags of grain for livestock. So that was a barter. So everything was money there, but of course nothing in specific was. Whatever that was scarce in the area would become money. So some people definitely used coins, coins minted by your leaders of that particular region, whoever was there who minted. And we've heard this story that the leaders started clipping the minted coins because they themselves fell short of it. So they inflated it by clipping it. So similarly, the coins were used in the past. The paper money came in later. Of course, plastic cards was much later. Before even coins came in, we used something like shells and tobacco and all that. Whatever was scarce was not easily available. Of course, if you're on the seaside, shells will not make any sense. But shells was one of the recorded money use case in the past. So of course later we got a checkbook to support the paper money, and we got electronic money that was using the plastic card on top of the electronic devices to use as electronic money. A lot of electronic money on its own also came out, something like Bit Gold, Bit Cash, eCash, Hash Cash. So these were all tried and tested forms of electronic money by other than central governments. But of course, they were all shut down because they were all centralized. So even though they had the equivalent value of whatever they had floated in their bank account, they were soon got shut down by US government is because they didn't want any alternatives. Of course, with all of this, we know evolution of money has come down to Bitcoin now. That's the latest evolution. The difference in Bitcoin and electronic money before is Bitcoin is decentralized. So the beauty of Bitcoin that it cannot be stopped is because it is decentralized and it's proof of work system. In this, no one party is controlling the Bitcoins and its supply and anything of that matter. It's a team or it's a group of people who are doing that together because it's a group of us doing it together. It's easily usable for everyone and cannot be shut down. That's the beauty of Bitcoin. So this is the evolution of money. What we have latest is, of course, cryptocurrency in the name of Bitcoin. Let's go to the next slide and let's talk about more. So when we have all of this kind of money, why do we really need another currency or money? The reason we come across new money every few hundred years or few years or few decades is the reason because we evolve in a different way. First, our our business was only in person. If you remember, like thousands of years ago, if you didn't meet anybody in person, we cannot really, change hands of money unless you send it through somebody that's not really like very, authentic or like I would say very 100% secure. So right now, what we need is evolving according to our situation. The situation now that we are always online, and we like to communicate with most people online, and then the internet is one small web around the world for all of us to be in that, and then makes it small place, a smaller marketplace. So in this newer revolution, we need a newer currency, right? Whatever we had as credit cards were a past currency that was made in 50s, but we just try and use it on top of our existing systems because at that time uh, credit cards was needed just to move around so that it's easy for people to move cash around. But we use that on online, but it's really not an online currency. So that's why we need another currency which is supporting the online use cases that we have. Let's go to the next slide. So yes, before we just switch base, have you, any of you guys now you can go off your like unmute your mic and you can say it or message. Have you ever heard of this abstract that is written here? A purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash which allow online payments to be sent directly from party to another without going through a central financial institution. So this was, I can give a couple of seconds for you to think what and where you may have seen this.
Hi,
Hi, Vasudhara, sorry, my bad. Go for it.
no problem. um, so, this is basically talking about digital payments, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it would be Paytm or.
Oh, thank you very much for your guess, but I guess it's not Paytm. This is written by Satoshi Nakamoto. Satoshi Nakamoto is the inventor of Bitcoin and Bitcoin
Ah,
Cash for that matter. This was published in 2008 in a book called Cyberpunks 2. Um,
okay, okay, all right. Thanks, thanks.
you're welcome. So yes, thank you very much for giving us one guess. So that is not what it was. It is actually written in the white paper of the Bitcoin. Is the first couple of lines from that white paper. When he published the white paper, he wanted people to like see this and understand that this is going to be different. It's going to do the job without the need of financial institution. That was the biggest thing. And everybody who read this first, they were like they loved it and they said, okay, we will see and we will wait and see for the experiment to happen. So this has been 16 years since that time, since October 2008, that this was published. Let's go to the next slide and we can talk about more in depth. So we know this was published by Satoshi for Bitcoin, Bitcoin white paper. If you see Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash are exactly the same in terms of how it started. They both have the same white paper from 2009 when it started. The ledger of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash is exactly the same till 2017. In 2017, the developers of Bitcoin what had debate between each other, saying the development of Bitcoin should go in a direction where we can increase the block size. The increase in the block size means allowing more people to come and do a transaction. So that was very clearly a needed development. Why was a needed development and why was it so clear? Is because In 2010, Satoshi himself, when he had made Bitcoin in 2009 beginning, by 2010 he restricted the block size to 1 MB, and he said um, the block size, unlimited block size that was there, he said it was not needed to have such a big block size for now, and reduce it to 1 MB for the time being, and we will increase it when it is needed. That means when the scaling happens, a lot more people come in, more than one block, 1 MB block of transactions, we can increase it. So when Satoshi himself said that, why don't we increase it, is what some people in the community were saying. But others said we would just keep it at 1 MB block and increase the fees. If you increase the fees by keeping a limited size, what will happen is people will start bidding on the fee, means higher fee payer will go through, right? That was not the real use case of what Satoshi wanted. Satoshi wanted Bitcoin to be cheaper and instant transactions for everybody in the world. So that's how the split happened in 2017. In the split, after the split, of course, Bitcoin Cash has a higher block size, and Bitcoin continues to hold 1 MB block size. So the reason now, when after the splits, it's got its own use cases. Bitcoin becomes more of a asset class than for currency, because if it's a currency, we know how we use currency. When we're paying somebody 100 rupees, you cannot pay a fee of 100 rupees, right? That means your cost should be 200 rupees. It doesn't make sense. So in the UPI also, if you see, when we make a payment of 100 rupees, it's free for us to make payment. So what we pay is 100 rupees, what he gets is also 100 rupees. That should be the way, or the fee should be extremely low. It cannot be 50, 100 rupees as a fee. Because if it's 50, 100 rupees as fee, when you make a transaction of 50, 100 rupees, you will be paying 50, 100 rupees again extra just to send that 50 rupees. Doesn't make sense. That's what is there in Bitcoin right now. Every time when you send a Bitcoin transaction, you pay 50 to 100 rupees right now. And when the bull run is happening, it goes up to like 50, 60,000 rupees. Can you believe 50, 60,000 rupees being paid just to make one transaction? So that's why I say Bitcoin has become more of an asset and less of a currency, and Bitcoin Cash is more of a currency and also an asset. So it's a win-win situation after the 2017 split, with Bitcoin Cash as being the new currency and withholding the ledger and the past of Bitcoin. It becomes a more robust money for us for the future. So that's why we have these meetups and we have these educational conversations going on, just so that people know what is the real difference, what has happened in the past, because a lot of people who are new to crypto would have come in now and not knowing anything that has happened in the past. So that's just what is the difference, and why we need Bitcoin Cash and what we know about it so far, including with the developments that's happened so far. So let's go to the next screen. So in terms of whatever that I just mentioned, Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Cash, the block size of Bitcoin is 1 MB, the Bitcoin Cash holds 32 MB. 32 MB automatically means a lot more transaction. And in fees, Bitcoin has a variable fee, means anybody who's in a rush wants to pay higher fee can pay higher fee and go quicker. In Bitcoin Cash, like the way Satoshi wrote in the beginning, it is following FIFO, it's called first in, first out. That means whoever does the transaction first, it's time stamped to that guy saying that he was earlier than others, and whoever came afterwards and still paid higher fee will not necessarily go through before the guy who time stamped first, because in Bitcoin Cash it follows that protocol that whoever time stamps first will get their transaction confirmed first. And in terms of the transaction fee, it's a fixed fee of a small amount, which is a few satoshis. In Indian rupees, it's about 2 paise, and we know 2 paise is too little. And for 10 rupees also, we can easily pay 2 paise and send the transaction. So that's how Bitcoin Cash is more popular and more useful as money, because for a small fee and an instant transaction can only happen with Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin also, people call it instant transaction, but it's really not instant. It is minimum of 10 minutes of one block size, one block confirmation. And some people wait up to 30 minutes for three confirmations. Some people wait till six confirmations. So it may take more than 1 hour for a Bitcoin to confirm compared to Bitcoin Cash, which confirms instantly and takes the least amount of fee that's available around. Let's go next. So these are what I said about the Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. But since the beginning of the point, we were going to be talking about what is money and what is best money for the future. So when we understand a good quality of money, we know what we ourselves. I don't have to tell you that. If I go through the next slides and if you follow that, you yourself can decide what is better money for you for the future and what you would like to hold more than what we are doing right now, right? Because if it's a better money for the future and we understand that today, we will hold that more because eventually that will give us more value for the future than existing money, which may lose value because of the inflation and more printing from the central government like the way the US has been doing. US just printed $30 trillion in the Corona time. That's way too many, US dollars to be printed, which is not at all a good sign. Let's go to the next screen. So simply in just terms of what better money, what qualities stand out to be better money, it should be able to pay online worldwide. What currencies do you think can pay online worldwide? Of course, we have many things. We have credit cards to start with, bank transfers. Does anything happen instantly like the way we do it on Bitcoin Cash? I wouldn't say anything can do that fast as Bitcoin Cash because Bitcoin Cash is instant. Well, you do have in the banking hours called wire transfer that can be done instantly. But the problem with wire transfer and instant transfers is that it will take a lot of fee. If I want to do international wire transfer, instant transfer, I will be paying a way lot of money to do the transaction. So the fees is very, very high. In this situation, Bitcoin Cash can do the best worldwide and does for the cheapest amount of money. Well, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, you're free to unmute and then we can have your question come up and then we'd like to understand what is your point of view and then maybe explain. Till that time, I will move on. Let's go to the next screen. Yes, this is something which is paying in person. Paying in person also is something which is possible today, but only that if you meet that person in person, right? If he is in your vicinity, if he's around you, you meet him in person, you can pay easily. But if you don't meet him in person, can you pay in person to him? That means without anybody in between. Absolutely not. It is very hard for today's economics to do that unless you bring in crypto. So this is where crypto comes in very handy to pay in person without any mediator in between. And amongst the cryptos also, we know Bitcoin Cash does better than any other cryptos for that matter. Anybody has another crypto that they have come across and they can do better than Bitcoin Cash, or it doesn't have to be, but maybe better in terms of this particular point that we're talking about. Do a message, and I would like to know what's your thought. Let's go to the next screen now. Yes, highly portable. High portability is one of the keys for money to become to be there because then it is useful for people. Uh, in notes and gold, it is a little difficult when we carry a lot of numbers. In gold, it becomes very heavy, and you just really can't carry around gold being safe, right? So for that reason, Bitcoin Cash and crypto makes it very easy. Amongst all the cryptos, it's similar in terms of portability for all the cryptos. They are on your wallet, and the more the coins doesn't matter. It's the same amount of same wallet it can fit in. So in these features, Bitcoin Cash can do a lot better than other existing money. But in crypto way, they're all similar in terms of being portable. Next, next slide, please. Highly divisible. What do you think is highly divisible? Of course, the government printed notes, which is fiat currency, is printed according to what is needed as divisibility. So we have a 500 rupee note, of course, that's smaller than 2000, smaller than 500. We have 200s, 100s, 50, 20, 10, and all that. So that makes it easy for us to use fiat. But anything better than fiat can we think of for divisibility? I cannot think of gold. Makes it even harder to divide and pay. But what makes it even better than fiat is actually cryptocurrency. And in cryptocurrency, most cryptocurrencies are highly divisible. Of course, Bitcoin Cash is one of the leaders in divisibility. It can go up to one Bitcoin Cash can go up to 100 million satoshis. So you can even pay with like few satoshis at once, or maybe just like about 1 or 2 rupees that you want to send. Way too low for transactions with any other way. But with cryptocurrency, especially with Bitcoin Cash, you can make that 1 rupee transaction. 1 rupee is equivalent to just 1.5 cents, maybe a little less than that, 1.2 cents in USD. But can you make a payment of 1.2 cents in crypto? Yes, with Bitcoin Cash, you can make by paying a very small fee, which is even lower, right? Which is two paise is a fee. So it's much lower and you can make a 1 rupee transaction too. So in being highly divisible, crypto can top the chart. Let's go to the next slide. If you know, these are the real features of money And these are the features which has evolved over the period of time and left the barter system behind, left the gold behind. We got into fiat is because all of these features is needed for us to use money. And in future, we will need it even better and even simpler and quicker. For all of that, existing fiat and gold is very old school, and we really need crypto. And in crypto, we should know what works better as money. Just like Bitcoin Cash, there is no other crypto that I have seen that can work similarly like Bitcoin Cash and work wonders like Bitcoin Cash. So highly fungible, fungibility comes very nicely with cryptocurrency. Any two notes, if it's one note is old and one note is new, you may not be able to club the two and pay it for like say two 500 rupee notes and you have to pay 1,000. You went to the shop and you paid that 1,000, but the shop guy may turn around and say, "Oh, sorry, I cannot take this other 500. It's too old a tone, or maybe it is now changed, 2015 and above. Whatever the notes were printed were not even useful today, right? So if you have an old note, it cannot be used. So fungibility is that if you have two pieces of the same, will it join together and be double of what it should be? In notes, it can be if you have the right notes, but if on one note is old and tone, the shop guy may say he cannot accept it, then you only have left with 500 to pay for 1,000 space. So in that kind of a situation, cryptocurrency has always been great. Uh, Two pieces of cryptocurrency like Bitcoin Cash, if it says two satoshis, and two satoshis will join and become four satoshis without any hassle, and it is highly fungible that way. Let's go next. Durability, yes, is one of the key things for money because if you know what is durability means, the notes that I was just talking about, if they are torn and tattered and dirty, they may not be as durable. They may not be accepted, so it's not as durable. They may tear very easily if too many people have used it. So the durability of money is supposed to be actually one of the key ones because if to fix this durability, Indian government also, if you see any government for that matter, central bank prints a lot of money extras, and then they remove the old ones and then flood the new ones. So this is because of the durability is low on paper money. And if you see crypto, it actually makes high use case for durability in crypto because they are very durable. They're not going to die once they started. That's it. They are started. They're computer codes. They're not going to be less durable in future. They're all going to be exactly the same. So that's the beauty of being in crypto and having Bitcoin Cash for that matter. Let's go next. Yes, so another one is of being self-custody. Self-custody is like a very a nice use case that crypto came across with. Like a lot of money also we can hold and we can hold it ourselves. But if you see in rupees, when we hold all the rupees that we have in with ourselves, a lot of ways to send and receive when without meeting anybody, you will have to put them in the bank. But if you put them in the bank, if you see, they have the custody too. So if you keep all your money in the bank, say you have more than 5 lakhs, and if you've kept it in the bank, and if the bank went down and if they didn't have anything, so we have seen it in the past. The banks just collapse, they shut down, and they don't have any money to give back to customers. So because it's their custody now, that if you need to put the money in the bank account, they hold the custody, and it is not in our custody. We will have to rely on them. And if they say we are shutting down and we don't have any money, the government of India has secured up to 5 lakh rupees. Before it was only 1 lakh rupees. But now up to 5 lakh rupees in a bank account is secured. But if you have more than 5 lakh rupees, say if you have 10 lakh rupees, first 5 lakh rupees can be given back to you by the government, but the remaining 5 lakhs you may not get it because you didn't keep that money in your custody. You kept the money in bank's custody. They have the right to over it, and they have an obligation to pay you back, but you cannot hold their collar now and make you pay back all the 10 lakhs. They may say, I'm sorry, we went bankrupt, we cannot pay you. You can only get your 5 lakhs back. So this is self custody. In crypto, this is the beauty of crypto. Crypto can allow you to hold your own money. This is why we also talk about holding your own funds, not your keys, not your funds. This is a mantra that's been going on in crypto space after all these collapses that happened in 2014. If you have, sorry, my bad, 2022, a lot of crypto exchanges, including FTX in the last, the grand finale, they all shut down, they all collapsed. What happened when they all collapsed? So they wiped out all their customers' money. Customers' crypto were all wiped out. So all the customers who had their crypto on these exchanges did not get their money back. Even if they got like a small percentage. So far that I've heard that only 10% of few exchanges have released the money back. So you lost 90% of the money because it's not self custody. Self custody is very good with crypto. It's very easy for you to hold your own assets, easy for you to hold, and also easy for you to do all the transactions that you need, whatever the exchange allows you to do. This is where our exchange, InstaCrypto, also comes into play. InstaCrypto is a self-custody exchange. In a self-custody exchange means on InstaCrypto, when you try and trade, you send in INR, you get equal amount of crypto, whichever you've chosen. When you send in crypto, you get INR instantly. You do not hold your assets so that you do not lose your custody. The time when you lose your custody is only when you're selling it. If you're selling 5,000 rupees worth of Bitcoin Cash, you send that Bitcoin Cash to us and instantly you get your rupees. So this is where self-custody is very important. Download wallets that give you seed phrase or memory phrase or your, what do they call it, recovery phrase. They're all the same. When you download a wallet from Play Store, it will give you the seed phrase 12 words. It will say write down these words before you start using the wallet. That's how you would know this wallet is self custody. Means when you write down that 12 words, and in future if you lose your phone, with those 12 words you can retrieve your crypto back. This is most important with cryptocurrencies because of the way in the past all the exchanges have collapsed and a lot of people have lost money. Self custody is very important. And if you see, self custody and also self using of sending and receiving can only happen with crypto, and Bitcoin Cash is the daddy of all. And well, I'm glad we have Bitcoin Cash. If we had anything else, like just fiat or gold as money, we wouldn't have self custody and self use case. Like we cannot just hold gold by ourselves and also send gold to abroad from ourselves. No, it is not possible. With cryptocurrency and Bitcoin Cash, this is possible. Let's go to the next slide. Yes, and what brings value to your money is being scarce or finite in number. So gold is being finite and scarce. That's what we know, we've read and we've understood in economics of the past. Is why gold is the most valuable asset in the world. Of course, it was most valuable asset and currency 100 years ago, but now it's only an asset because most places we do transactions, it's online or you don't meet the person. Very small percentage of times you meet the person, right? So what can be used as gold online? It's cryptocurrency. There's no other thing that we can hold and being finite like gold is only cryptocurrency. All fiat currencies of the world, just starting with US dollar to Indian rupees, they're all being printed and minted more and more. The more you mint and the more you print and the more you circulate, the more devalued your currency gets. That means you're holding 1,000 rupees to buy something next month. I can talk about that in months now because before it used to be years for it to lose value. Now we are losing value in months. In abroad like US and UK, they are losing value in days. Many countries actually abroad, they lose value in their fiat currency within few days. At least we are going in that months scenario. So when you have a finite number, like cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin Cash is exactly 21 million Bitcoin Cash only circulated. It's not going to increase. If it has to increase, everybody in the Bitcoin Cash space have to agree, which nobody's going to agree on, because why should they want to increase and devalue their own currency that they're holding? So for that reason, it holds good value. You know, in economics, it's very clear. If the numbers are not increasing, the only thing that's going up is the value. And that's why we want anything that we hold in future as currency has to be finite and secure and scarce. Let's go to the next slide. Of course, this all boils down to permissionless. So when you have permission to ask from the bank to send and receive money, sometimes they may not give you permission because their systems are down, because the banks are closed, it's bank holiday, they have some issues with their own systems. All of that are out of window when you have permissionless currency with you. When you have a permissionless currency like Bitcoin Cash, nobody has to tell you where to send, when to send, how much to send, why not to send or not to send. These are the questions you don't want to ask anybody. We are all autonomous individual people now. We shouldn't be asking people to do our own, business. So that's where a permissionless fiat cryptocurrency comes into play. And what is best other than Bitcoin Cash for that matter? Because they have the best wallets around. They are the most cheapest transaction, instant transaction, and crypto being permissionless. This is the beauty of it. This is the one of the reasons why we talk about crypto and Bitcoin Cash so much is because the future is all about permissionless and autonomy. It's not about depending on centralized institutions which are man-made, which has man-made issues. I will give you a man-made issue from the Indian banks. We think Indian banks are so great. Of course, they are nice, They're better than other banks that are abroad. I can vouch on that. I lived in England for 7 years. It's better than the English banks and Indian banks. The only issue with Indian banks also are a personal and private interest these people who run banks have. One of the main issues, excuse me, one of the main issues that I have seen in Indian banking system is about a few years ago, some 40,000, 40 lakh crores, some ridiculous amount of money was given as loan to Videocon. We all know Videocon company, right? It's a TV making company. It makes a few kitchen stuff like fridge and microwave and things. I don't know exactly what all they make, including washing machine. And the Videocon company said that they were going to go find oil in abroad, in somewhere in Mauritius, and all our Indian banks together just gave them so much money that they never got anything back. And who are these assholes who just gave the money without due diligence? When I go for a loan, they ask me 101 questions when I have to ask just like 50,000 rupees, 1 lakh rupee loan. But they gave some 40 lakh crores of money. Like to who? To these guys who don't even have experience, right? This is the thing banks do. They give money to their friends and family or those people who are in their bed together without asking any questions, and they'll lose our money. So this is why we need permission-less cryptocurrencies in the future so that we don't depend on these banks to to lose our money. Thank you very much for listening to this. Anyway, I had to say it because these banks are ridiculous. Let's go next. Instant transactions, very simple and very useful case. Instant transactions are the future today because if you see, instant communication is available today for us online through many portals. But all these portals like WhatsApp messaging and your Facebook messaging, emails, Google, everything is supported on the internet. So when internet is helping us do instant communication, why not we take advantage of the internet to do instant transactions? Because if you don't have instant transactions, a lot of businesses are delayed. They don't get instant liquidity to continue with their business. Say I sold a product and I have only one product. Every time can only make one product, I put out a message to everyone saying that I have this product for sale, and instantly I get a reply from somebody abroad saying that yes, I'd like to buy. So I freeze that to him and I send it to him. He sends me the money from abroad, but it may take up to 45 days for me to get that money. Of course, if he pays high fee, I may get it in 1 day. If he pays a medium fee, I may get it in 7 days. If he pays low fee, I may get it in 45 days. So did you understand? Like if you don't pay high fee, I don't get money instantly. So what can make this transaction instantly happen, but with less fee, is Bitcoin Cash. Even Bitcoin doesn't do that. Bitcoin sticks to that one block time because it doesn't have zero confirmation system that's registered on it or built on it. Bitcoin Cash has that. Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin both had it, but the Bitcoin developers removed it for a reason of RBF, which is called replace by fee. By because you're paying higher fee, higher paying person can go first. So those are the things spoiled the zero confirmation system. But the zero confirmation system works superbly fine on Bitcoin Cash. Nobody can reverse your transaction. That means if you get a message on your wallet saying that you are receiving this amount, and in a few minutes one block will move and that will be confirmed. You don't have to worry about that one block to move. You don't have to wait till that time. You can send your product because Bitcoin Cash can never be reversed, and it will always get verified and confirmed in your wallet, and you will have the money within that 10 minutes. So that zero confirmation system is a beautiful system that's been built by Satoshi, available on Bitcoin Cash and only on Bitcoin Cash. That's why we talk about Bitcoin Cash. We want the real money for the future, and this is what we have. Let's go to the next slide there. Store of value. Store of value is also a great point. What I mean by that is, say, if you believe that Bitcoin Cash is the future of money, and if you hold everything in Bitcoin Cash, you should not feel that just because I'm holding a lot of Bitcoin Cash tomorrow it should not lose value, right? So that's why we have seen in the past Bitcoin Cash has continuously increased its value. Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash are the same protocol, right? When I said in 2009 it started, 2017 it becomes it's split, and we have two different coins now, and one becomes as an asset, another becomes as your money, which is Bitcoin Cash. Both of them are a good store of value. So the reason we have a store of value point is mentioned here is because any good money that we use every day, we become useful, we become say dependent on it because we use that particular currency so much that we know how to use it, we know who all accepts it, so we use it. Because we're using more, we hold more. When we hold more, it should not lose value. That's the most important thing. Is exactly why Bitcoin Cash is pretty good on that. Is over the period of time. I wouldn't say short, small amount of times within a month of things, but I'm talking about longer period of time. It holds its value and it increases to increase its value. So tomorrow, by holding Bitcoin Cash, you not just have money to pay, you may have even more money to pay. So it can take you more purchasing. It can give you more purchasing power than the other cryptos or other any fiat or gold for that matter. Next slide, please. Decentralization. So this is one of the things that I actually touched base in the beginning. I did say centralized and decentralized. Centralized is a fiat currency which is printed and minted by the central governments. And decentralized system is where nobody is in control. No bank or no central authority should be in between to stop you, to allow you, or to give you permission, not give you permission. This is where decentralized systems are very popular now because online we all can together chip in with our computing power that we have in our hardwares and then join the computing system of Bitcoin Cash, allow our power to be used and make it more decentralized. So the more and more people come in and then support the system, the more decentralized it gets. Even in the beginning, it was decentralized. So even if they had less people, they still needed more than two people to work on the system. So it's been a decentralized system on Bitcoin Cash from day one on cryptocurrencies. But on a fiat system, it is completely centralized. That's why we talk about Bitcoin Cash as the future of money, is because the future is a decentralized system. We want individuals to come in and do their thing and have complete autonomy of their money and not allow our money to be controlled and dictated by the central institutions or central governments. Because say Indian government is great, of course, better than other governments, but you can really never depend on governments because governments are not here to help people. They're just here to move their agenda first, and we always come second. And we shouldn't have a government like US for that matter, which the people come in the last. Uh, at least in India, people may come in second after them, but in the US, people come last. US comes first, then Ukraine will come second, everybody else comes third, and then people will come fourth. That's the US style of centralization. So that's why we want to promote decentralization systems, and Bitcoin Cash is the best one out of that. Let's go next screen now. Fees, yes, fees is like the key. The lower the fee, the better the money. Because anything that we do nowadays is small transactions. If you see UPI, Unified Payments Interface, that has become very popular in India, is free to make transaction. So because it's free, people make transactions of 10 rupees, 20 rupees. That's so low. 20 rupees is nothing but 3 cents or 30 cents. I'm sorry. 30 cents of money we've been able to transfer in and out so many times, so many people every day. And because there is less fee, we are able to do that. And what can replicate that in crypto space is only Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is the lowest amount of fee, fixed amount of fee. It's not going to seriously jump just because there's a bull run. Those things are really bad when bull run comes. Some fees go really high, like Ethereum and Bitcoin. I hate that situation because why should I pay such a high fee just to move a small transaction? Okay, I understand if you're sending big amounts of money, but hey, 99% of the people in the world are not going to send big amounts of money. They're sending decent amounts, small amounts of money. For them, there shouldn't be higher fees. So low fee transactions are the most important ones because low fee transactions will be the transactions in the future. Majority of the transactions will be smaller amounts. So low fee is the key. That's where we come in with Bitcoin Cash, and that can do better than other cryptos too. Forget even fiat and gold. Fiat and gold are very high fees for that matter. Well, fiat within India has got low fee. I will not compete with that with UPI, but I'm talking about taking crypto or taking anything that Indians have globally. Sorry that UPI we cannot take it globally, but with Bitcoin Cash we can go global. Let's go next screen, guys. Micropayments, this is something it's a tricky subject because a lot of people wouldn't have heard about what is micropayments. Micropayments are becoming very popular. So in terms of even just say if there is a loan and the loan payment has to be paid back, if you have the option of micropayments, it's very easy. That's what loan EMIs are, right? You make payback in small amounts. That's not the amount that you borrowed. Divided by 36, say monthly you pay 100 rupees each for 4,000 and you pay say 36 times. for 3,000 rupees loan that you get. So what I'm saying in micropayments is now you want to make in micropayments. 100 rupees a month is not good enough. You want to pay just 5 rupees a day. So if you're making 5 rupees a day, that's micropayments. That means you easily have 5 rupees every day and you'd like to send 5 rupees. So when you're sending 5 rupees every day, did you get that previous point now? If the fees are higher, it doesn't make sense for you to send 5 rupees every day. But then because the fees are low, micropayments are possible on Bitcoin Cash. If there's any other crypto or any other fiat or gold or any other commodity for that matter that you can think can be done micropayments, sorry, I would love to hear the debate, but I don't think there is anything that is there that can work as good as BCH. Bitcoin Cash can do a lot of micropayments. Micropayments are very popular most places now going forward because of the way our communication, our economics and commerce is growing. For that reason, I put in here is because Bitcoin Cash can do so much better in micropayments for the future than any other existing methods. Let's go next. Reliability is one of the things. Reliability is something that you want to be sure about that particular money. I know the reliability of fiat comes from the governments because governments say that it is reliable. We believe in it, we agree, and then we move on. Reliability can come in different ways of holding its own value, holding its position as money for the future and things like that. So whatever the reliability and trust that comes in, it comes in with time. If you see, if I just said it today, this is very reliable, man, just buy it. You may not want to buy it because you heard it from me just today. You will not be convinced enough. So what convinces you is time. Because I told you today, within a month or maybe after a month, you see whatever Vikram said a month ago still sounds good. That particular thing that he said about still is doing what it says it's doing. So kind of it looks reliable. So what it looks reliable is because it took 1 month for you to see that. If it is 1 year, then you would say, oh, it's definitely reliable because you waited 1 month and 1 month or 1 year, and the whole 1 year it was trusted and reliable, right? So that kind of trust and reliability comes with time. And if Bitcoin Cash has done that, is because it's done it since 2009. So it is very reliable now. It's 15 years from the time it launched. It's very trusted and reliable because it has done its time. It has lived its time, and over a period of time, it has never lost its shine. It's kept on improving, kept on allowing more and more people to join, become more scalable, and things like that. So that's what makes any cryptocurrency or any money reliable. And Bitcoin Cash can do that even better because Bitcoin Cash has got such a good team, such a good developers and followers, and whatever that has been developed till now on Bitcoin Cash, even if it stops today, it will still continue to do so well. That's the beauty of it. Thanks, Adi. You just went off and came back. Anyway, we can go next screen. And I think we finished for now. Well, I guess it's time to make BCH a legal tender. I know there is two countries which are working on to make Bitcoin Cash a legal tender. One is Saint Kitts and another one is Saint Martin. They both are Caribbean islands. They both see the real use case of Bitcoin Cash. I'll give you a classic example. In Saint Martin, the finance minister or the finance minister office spoke to this gentleman who's promoter of Bitcoin Cash there called Mr. Bryson. So when they were talking to him, they said, "Oh, Bitcoin Cash, since the time it has come to our country, it's helped a lot of people. There are less queues in front of Western Union." So what is it that they're talking about? That means that people have used Bitcoin Cash and found it useful. In a country like San Martin, which most of the things that they depend on is from abroad, their imports and exports are very high. Their commerce always depends on somebody from abroad like doing commerce with them. So that means they're always sending some money abroad, receiving money from abroad. When they're doing that so much more than India, because in India we are self-sustained. Everything else, most things are built and made in India. But in San Martin, most things are made outside San Martin. So they have to keep buying and sending, right? So when they're doing that, every time they have to send money in and out. When they were doing that, they found that Bitcoin Cash was doing so much better. For small fee, they were sending able to send smaller amounts. No less queue in front of Western Union because the fees in Bitcoin Cash is much lower than Western Union. So when all that happened, the politicians in St. Martin, along with Mr. Bryson, said, "I think this is worthy of legal tender. We should make this legal tender." So they are going towards making this legal tender for that reason, because they really see that use case in their island. That's why we say Bitcoin Cash. Once we see that potential in India also, tomorrow we can make it legal tender because it's much better than CBDC, which is controlled by one or two parties only, or a government and central bank only. It is not very good with it, where they are centrally controlling so much of people's power, right? Money is people's power, and you should not be controlling it so much. Just like cash, cash is people's power, and because governments don't know how much cash we hold and we pay and we buy things and send and receive, of course this government has got a threshold. You shouldn't hold so much and extra. I'm not talking about holding so much and doing money laundering in your house. I'm just saying if you hold say 10,000 rupees cash in your hand, it's easier for you to make payments. That's the autonomy that you get from cash. That's what Bitcoin Cash can give you, not just for doing it in person, but doing it online globally with everyone in this world. This is where we are. We are in a global scenario. We're not in our each countries anymore with fiat system. Our fiat system is also controlled by abroad, like the US fiat controls the Indian fiat, because if US fiat prints more fiat currency, Indian fiat loses value. So that means there is a connection. So we want to remove the connection and make it power back to people. This is why we have Bitcoin Cash as legal tender being promoted. Looking forward to making these countries making it legal tender, and soon we will have some real use case to talk about. Thank you very much. And this is our tagline from Insta Crypto: Embrace crypto with confidence. Do not fear for anything. This is just technology. And if you want to buy into a little bit to learn, understand, you should do that ASAP, because a small amount of 100 rupees worth of Bitcoin Cash that you buy and hold and see how it works always takes you places, because you have better knowledge than a lot of people who have some Bitcoin Cash and cryptocurrency, but they don't have it in their own holdings. They hold it in an exchange. If you're holding an exchange, it's not very useful. You don't learn from it. You only are able to trade in it, but not hold and learn from it. So yes, that's me. Thank you very much, all of you guys, for being great listeners. But yes, I would love to take some questions if you guys have, and let's move on.
Thanks, Vikram. I'll go ahead.
Thank you, Adi. It was very well organized. I think we can
Okay.
put it to messaging maybe if there is any question.
Yeah. I think I'll just ask a question. I have a question.
Okay, go for it.
Hello. I
Yeah,
hope I'm audible.
yes, very clear.
Okay. So, a money or a type of currency may offer great features, but it's only useful I can spend it, right? So, could you please tell us about the acceptance of cryptocurrencies?
So the accept of cryptocurrencies is there in many places. If you want to see which one is doing better, of course, is Bitcoin Cash. To find out where to spend Bitcoin Cash, just go on map.bitcoin.com. It has got a map view, and you can just zoom into wherever you are or where you're trying to go. You will be able to zoom in and see what are these merchants who are accepting the Bitcoin Cash and would like to take Bitcoin Cash for goods and commodities. Well, of course, not just Bitcoin Cash. There are many other cryptos are also accepted, but they're not as accepted widely as Bitcoin Cash is accepted. So you know the answer is Bitcoin Cash is the most widely used cryptocurrency today and moving forward in the future also. If you see, there's another way why Bitcoin and other cryptos are not necessarily accepted as legal tender or accepted as a currency in many places is because, again, it boils down to that fee part of it. If you meet somebody in person, you're trying to buy something which is a small amount, you're paying a high fee. So a lot of people don't use cryptocurrencies because they want to save on that fee. But if you use Bitcoin Cash, there's hardly any fee. And then the beauty of Bitcoin Cash and autonomy and holding your own currency in your own hands is all beauty in BCH. And like I
Hello.
said, it's maps.bitcoin.com where you will be able to find it. I hope that is.
Hello, Mr. Vikram.
Hi, Suresh, go for it.
Hi. Yeah. Tell me where exactly it makes more sense or it makes more easy to use or to do the Bitcoin transaction where the existing forms of money is not existing forms of money cannot do.
Okay, I'll tell you what I'm using it specially is for small amounts to send and receive abroad. I have a small, code that I code, and if I code it well and it's useful for a lot of people abroad, I can send the code to somebody online instantly via email or messaging, and I can receive a payment of say 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 50 rupees, 100 rupees from Japan, from US, Can you do that with fiat currency? No, I don't think so. You can do that right now that easily and that instantly for a smaller fee. So I use Bitcoin Cash for that reason. I have not used it now for that particular code sale, but I have done it in the past. So you know what Bitcoin Cash is useful for. Any small amounts abroad, you cannot use anything other than cryptocurrency today. And in cryptocurrency also, what makes it cheaper to send receipt instantly to send receipt is Bitcoin Cash.
Any domestic purpose?
Domestic
You said
purpose,
internationally, right?
it's all international, of course. Domestic purpose, we are from India. We do not have a real use case in domestic use in India, but for Bitcoin Cash, local use cases in Australia, in Venezuela, in St. Martin, St. Kitts, and in a lot of other places in Argentina, they're very, very useful. Is because they have a difficulty in their own fiat system. In India, in our fiat system is working fine. We have a layer which even makes it even better, which is a UPI layer, where we send and receive money within Indians instantly. But of course, if you see, all Indians should have an Indian bank account, only when the UPI works. So for that, I cannot replace crypto because UPI has done a better deal already. But if you see, UPI is only in India. A lot of foreigners are trying to take UPI system from us, like for French and all that people. Why do they need that? Is because their fiat system is not as robust. It's because of why some countries are very popular for Bitcoin Cash. Like I just mentioned, your Japan is also one of them. Australia is another one. Venezuela, South America, many countries in South America. It's very popular to use Bitcoin Cash, and they're using it for payments. Like everyday restaurants are accepting it. Everyday people are changing hands by payments and settlements within themselves. That's happening big time, especially in a country like Venezuela, because Venezuela has taught people that crypto is cool to use in the name of Petro coin that they started in Venezuela. But Petro coin is started by the government, and the government of Venezuela allows people to even mine Bitcoin. Of course, they have a small limitation that they have to use the government's pool mining software, but well, at least they're allowing people to use mining and do mining within the country. So Bitcoin Cash became really popular because when they saw all of these is allowed, but within crypto payments, when people are doing it, they found out Bitcoin Cash can do it really cheaply and really instantly. That became more popular, and that's what is more popular in Venezuela.
So, what's the driving force behind this cryptocurrency for the recent surge in its value? For example, the Bitcoin, right now it is approximately trading around $23,000, one Bitcoin equivalence. Maybe a month back or something like that, it was around $15,000 or $17,000. So almost $5,000 to $7,000 increased.
Well, that's very little.
So
5,000, 7,000 is only an increase because the bull run has, bear market has just finished. The bear market means whatever the bull run happened previously, the next couple of years it corrects itself. So the price drops and it goes to the lowest, which was the previous high, and then it comes back up. That's what exactly happened. So the bear market just finished, so it's going back gradually growing in price. It has always been
just for no reason is it coming up?
there's no reason. There's a very clear reason. The reason is Bitcoin has a 4 year cycle. A 4 year cycle means in 2012, Bitcoin halved its supply. Because it halved its supply, the price of it has to go up. Because, say, supply when it reduces to half, only thing that goes up in economics is price. So that happened in 2013. Similarly, again 2016, the Bitcoin halving happened, and 17 the price went up. In 2020, halving happened. 21 the price went up. So when the price went up every 4 years, right? So the remaining 3 years in that time, what is happening is it's giving the correction period. So in 2014, when the price shot up, 14 was a bull run bear market time. The price shot down. Then the end of 14, the price is the lowest, and then it started picking up again. It happened in 17's bull market too. In again 21's bull market. In 22, we saw the least price for Bitcoin, and it touched based on the previous high, which was around 17, $18,000. So it touched up to 15,000 this time, and it started to grow back again. It's happening. It's happened all the time. So now it will keep growing till its previous high. The previous high in 21, it touched 65,000 US dollar. Till it touches 65,000 US dollar, it will keep growing slowly. After that, it will shoot up, and then again the next 4 years there will be correction. So like 22, In 2026, we will have a lowest period for Bitcoin. So again, 27 will start growing. So this year it is growing, right? This is just a bull market period. It's come down and it's going back.
Yeah, so you mean to say there is no logical reason for it to go up? Is that right?
The logical reason is it's 4 year cycle of its halving. That's a logical sense. So
See that.
every 10 minutes, 50 bitcoins were given in the beginning. Now every 10 minutes, only 6 bitcoins are given out, 6.25 something. So every 4 years when it reduces, so next 4 years, which is in 24, the Bitcoin supply will reduce to 3 bitcoins for every 10 minutes. So when the supply reduces and more demand is created, it's economics. The economic, your theory is applied here. In economics, if the supply is reduced and demand is growing, only thing that can go up is price. It's the same with Bitcoin.
Yeah, see, supply and demand, please keep that aside because there is no real economic activity going on behind this Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. So, supply demand, please keep that aside. Other than that, is there
I'll
any other
correct you
logical
one thing.
reason?
The no real economic activity going behind is not true because maybe 1% of economic growth is happening with cryptocurrency, and that 1% is going to turn to 99% in a few years' time. So economic activity is happening. It can never be 100%, right? It has to start from 0, 1, 2, 3% like that. So economic activity of cryptocurrency is gradually growing by the day, by the year. So it's not that it is never happening. Just
Okay,
one.
so that means at the moment there is not much economic activity, right?
Less
So,
yeah.
because the reason my question is probably, see, I don't remember the exact dates or times. So approximately 4 months back, it was around $15,000, or maybe 3 months back, it was around $15,000. So from that moment and today is at $22,000, $23,000, almost more than 50% it went up. So for that, based on your explanation, I see there is no logical reason. So people are just blindly going and buying. There is no logical reason.
So the
Can we
logical
conclude that?
reason, what is the logic that you'd like? Some bank stealing your money is a good logic for you to have an
No, no, no.
alternative.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me
So
tell you. Let me tell
that's a
you.
logical reason
See,
why
I
it
see
happens.
lot. Let me tell you. I will tell you the logical reason, and you can counter me. Okay.
Yes.
See, the interest rates are going up. So that means easy liquidity is draining. There is no easy money. It will be difficult. So the dollars are traveling back to America. So that means from that perspective, it should go down. The crypto should go down.
Okay.
Or the fraudulent activity is increasing day by day.
So
People are
I'll correct you on
bankrupting,
two
or
points
banks are.
because see people think
Let
that
me complete, sir.
that's true. The point that you said the increase in activity of illegal activity is not by the Bitcoiners or the users of cryptocurrency. It's the exchanges. What exchanges do is it is a custodial exchange. They hold people's cryptocurrency and they shut down and they go down and they do some illegal activity and they are bankrupt. So that is not the problem of the Bitcoin. If bank went down, is it a problem of money of the bank? It's actually the bank. The holders of the people who are running the bank didn't do a proper decision. So that's the bank's problem. So the illegal activity in cryptocurrency is not happening by the crypto users. It's by the exchanges. Just wanted to let you know.
Okay, so where exactly do we stand? I mean, the Indian government or the American government, where exactly do these governments stand regarding the regulations or controlling these fraudulent activity? I think something is going on with this, especially with America. They are doing something. So can you please explain about that?
Yes. So, what is America trying to do after FTX? Absolutely nothing. What did they do about the FTX guy? They put him in jail, took him out for a 250 million bail. Who paid for the 250 million bail? No news. Who is going to supposed to give you the news? Suresh, if you were not going to give you the correct news from America, America is a country we don't even want to talk about because it's full of lies. So lies because they have their own agenda. Their agenda is their fiat money, which is US dollar. They want to make sure that's the only thing used around the world. But of course, everybody is rejecting it. Like China rejected it with yuan, Russia is rejecting it with their ruble. So obviously, US dollar will be rejected, and then eventually crypto will be used. Nobody cares about US government's regulation because they don't know how to regulate Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash or any other commodity for that matter. Indian government has done much better. Indian government said you go, do trade, do whatever you want, pay us 1% from the exchange, pay 30% if you profit. It was already there, 30% and above, we were already paying as our income tax. So if crypto also we make a lot of profit, we pay. That's a great regulation, I think, better than any other country in this world. And 1% tax from the exchange itself. That means I'm running an exchange. You come in and you use 100 rupees in my exchange, 1 rupee from that I directly pay to the government. So that is making sure that whoever is there in that is regulated. If they are collecting tax, it's already regulated. They know how much Suresh has because Suresh's 1% is already been paid. So remaining 99% of that crypto is with Suresh. They know that. So by knowing it, that means they're allowing you to use crypto. Allowing you to use crypto is the good regulation that's already there. America and many other Western countries, they call themselves West, have zero understanding of crypto. They're always trying to keep crypto in a balance so that if you start using it, tomorrow they can come and catch you in your house and put you in the jail saying that we never allowed you to use crypto. At least Indian government will never do that. Is because they allow you to pay tax, and if you pay tax properly on your crypto, you are free to hold your crypto. This is the pure game that Western company, Western banks, the Federal Reserve, the Western governments are playing on their people. Well, that was the answer. I guess it was clear enough. But yeah, I'm happy to take a couple more questions from anyone else. No, sounds like whatever I said was completely understood.
I have a question, Vikram.
Yeah, Anshul, go for it.
Yeah, so considering the RBI's stance on cryptocurrencies, they are calling for an outright ban to the entire cryptocurrency. So, I mean, going forward, what do you think? I mean, how is it going to be used? Because currently, also, we cannot use cryptocurrency as a currency in India. It can
Well, of course,
it's
in India, you're not allowed to use it as currency. Why do you want to use it within India? Within India, you have great system like UPI, which is set up. So that's amazing. And I'm sorry to touch base on the first point of the question that you mentioned was about
the RBI's
the RBI stance,
stance
right?
on.
So who in RBI are actually saying this that they're going to put a hold on crypto or ban crypto? That person is irrelevant. If he is head of RBI, he doesn't know what he's doing and he doesn't know what his job is. So RBI has got nothing to do with cryptocurrency. First of all, RBI and government are two different entities that we have who manage money. If the money is cryptocurrency, they both will together manage it. If RBI has to print Bitcoin, no, they don't have the right to print Bitcoin. Bitcoin is minted and made by the people around the world. So RBI can come in and just regulate it like the way they have done and continue with it. Now, the bigger picture above RBI is the finance minister. Now, finance minister, which is Nirmala Sitharaman, about a year ago, she already said that yes, crypto is something that we will look into it. We are already, you know what, this is her quote, I'm quoting her. She said, we are already ahead in payments dunya. She says, we are ahead in payments dunya. What does she talk about? She's talking about UPI. Why should we look at even cryptocurrency? So she knows that it is the commodity of the future. If they start CBDC, nothing but fiat, right? Fiat is CBDC is similar in a way. CBDC works on digital format, fiat is a physical format, but both are controlled by the government. Why does CBDC not in yet? It's because government doesn't want to give full control to RBI. RBI doesn't want to give full control to government about CBDC. So they both are going to fight over it and not have any control because we don't, as Indians, I wouldn't like any one entity to control my money. Then they become biased and I will lose out. So I would rather have two entities, manage my money. So eventually with Bitcoin Cash, what will happen is it is free money. It's managed by nobody. All they have to do is government should govern by taking our taxes. RBI should just manage by making sure there are enough tax or whatever that they are saying right now, like the way Bitcoin is taxed at 1% in exchanges, they're able to continue to do that. And I think for both of them, something like Bitcoin Cash will be the great currency for the future. We don't have to worry about too much about printing, lose too much of resources for printing paper, but they just know how to manage it better because Bitcoin Cash has not been manipulated or not been increased in numbers by anybody in the world. If they understand the blockchain system more better than what they know, they will realize that any decentralized currencies that's already existing can be the national currency. Thank you very much, everybody who asked questions also, and see you guys.